Hi, everybody. So, this is a new week and a new assignment. This is your last assignment in this course, so you're almost there. This is your essay for the documented argumentative research paper. Okay, so all of your previous assignments were specific to critical thinking, analysis, looking at the arguments of others, disassembling them, explaining them, knowing how to rationalize your views on it, your side, and you learned how to do all these things: summarize, quote, paraphrase authors' ideas. We're going to look more at quoting, paraphrasing, and integration of sources. But for now, you've learned how to do some of this already. You also learned how to do research, develop and strengthen your essays. So you've analyzed, you've evaluated. Now you are going to form your own argument using everything that you have practiced thus far with other people's arguments. This is your essay for. So you're going to incorporate all those skills. You will develop your own argument and support it with research from secondary sources. So that's the research that you've been doing to put together your annotated bib in essay 3. You will generate your own topic. And I told you guys that you can pick your own topic. This is completely up to you what you write about, as long as it can be argumentative and as long as you can figure out how to prove it, if it's something that's provable. You need sources, and you need people who agree with you and people who disagree with you. If you're having questions about your sources, please let me know. If you're having questions about your topic, please let me know. And from what I've seen thus far, everyone looks like they're using a topic that would work well for this assignment. You're going to make an argument about your topic, and that has to be clearly stated as your working thesis statement. So we're going to work on that this week. Your body paragraphs must be focused, organized, and clearly relating back to your thesis. And this is so important, the way that you weave these body paragraphs together. That's something that we'll be working on in the coming weeks. In like a week or two, you'll have some practice with that, and I'll be able to give you some feedback on that. But just as a little guide, as you're starting to put together your working thesis statement, this is what you are going to remember about when you turn it into your final thesis statement. That it should look just like this, and I'm going to highlight this in the document that you can see. This is the assignment document here. It should read as follows: the responsible party, so the party that can actually enact the change that you're calling for, should, and then do something. This is the change that you're proposing, or the solution to a problem that you're proposing. Because, and then the reasons. Okay, so remember what we discussed when we talked about the Toulmin model, and we talked about claim, we talked about grounds, right? That's what that is. Now, I've already told you that you're going to need to include at least 10 outside sources, and so that's what you're going to be doing here. You could choose a topic that's related to one of the documentaries that you watched, or even one of the ones on the list that maybe you didn't present on, but maybe you can use it as a source for essay 4. So you need at least 10 total. For essay 3, I only had you find a minimum of 5, but you can submit more. Know that for your essay 4, you must have 10 sources at least in your bibliography or your works cited, depending upon whether you're using MLA or APA format. Also remember that your essay 4 should use proper MLA or APA, not only the citations, in-text citations, reference citations, but also the formatting of your entire essay. That's really important for this type of paper. In general, this paper tends to range anywhere from 5 to 10 pages in length. Usually they end up being around 7 to 8 pages, which is kind of like the happy medium between the two. That's pretty much, I'm looking for something around that. If you're writing 5 pages, that's the bare minimum, and I guess it really just depends on your writing style. Some writers are very brief and very concise, but you can still be thorough enough to cover the topic well and do it justice. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to do this argument justice. So all of the sources that you could include would include things like newspapers, reputable magazines, people who are responsible for vetting their sources. So we're not looking at bloggers unless we're talking about a professional blog, that's tied to one of these reputable entities that do vet their sources. You can include books. You could also include ebooks. Any government documents would work for this. Scholarly journals would work for this. And some websites, and we've talked about websites when we're doing SA3 research activities. So I think that it's best to get as many different types of sources as you can so that you do have some variety. I would encourage it. It's strongly encouraged. I'll just leave it at that. And so that is your assignment. Now I've posted this already, so you've probably already seen this. As you know, there's a final presentation that accompanies this assignment. This is the oral presentation. So how will you be doing this? You're going to basically do a video and upload it for me. There will be a separate assignment link just for this. And you've got plenty of time to put it together. You'll have some of your assignments will be to work on parts of your essay and submit them. And so I feel very confident that you'll be able to work through and piece your essay together in a really meaningful way. And then your oral presentation will be about, I'm asking you now to keep it to about 5 minutes, please. You can do a PowerPoint in order to talk about it, but it should be a video of some sort. So you can do a PowerPoint with you narrating it, for instance, as long as I can see the PowerPoint, or you can do what I'm doing, which is like a picture-in-picture. And I will post some resources to help you figure out how you can do this best if you're using your computer at home. So what I'm looking for is about 10 slides, something like PowerPoint. You could use Prezi as well. Prezi works really well for presentations like this, short presentations, to provide just an overview of your research argument and the most interesting findings that you want to share with us, the things that you thought were the most convincing or the most revealing about your topic, and then your conclusion. And that's it. Okay, so that's all I'm looking for, what you were arguing and the most convincing things about, the most convincing support for that argument, and your conclusion as a result. You may also, and this might help you, you may also want to mention one of the most popular naysaying arguments. So in other words, what is the most popular counter argument against what you are proving? And if you can talk about that, then it'll help to explain why the evidence that you've chosen to share with us is the most compelling in the first place. Maybe it's something that kind of disputes that. You can use the aids that you want to use. If you prefer to have a video and talk where we can see you, and by we I mean me, then that's perfectly fine. Of course, the aids that you could use during your presentation, of course, that's not really going to apply to you guys because we're not all in class together. So the only aids that I'm looking for you to use is a PowerPoint. I am looking for you to put some PowerPoint slides together and do that. It'll be up to you as to whether you want to be viewed in the video or if you just want me to be able to see the slides and then hear your voice. This is a separate grade from your essay 4. Okay, so this is the essay 4 and this oral presentation put together. That's like your final exam in our class. Everything that we've done in our class has been leading up to these two things. And so I put that note here. The rubric for the oral presentation is separate from the one for the documented research paper. Okay, so just to let you know about that. And I cannot emphasize this enough. As a professor, I do this regularly. As an author, I do this regularly. I put presentations together. I write papers. I give presentations at conferences. I give talks, talking about what I know, what I've learned to be true, research that I've done on certain topics, on literature that I've read and written. This is really important to be able to do this, to be able to research a topic, write something meaningful about it, and then deliver it in a brief speech. Essentially, you can think of this as your TED Talk. But if that makes you nervous, then don't think of it that way. Just think of it as, how can I give a brief overview of what I did, why it's important to us, to the audience, why it's meaningful, why it should be shared, why we should care. Okay, so think about all those things when you're putting this together. The things that you feel are the most important that we absolutely need to know about this topic. And that's it. That's your essay 4 and your oral presentation. Remember, these are 2 separate grades, 2 separate rubrics, and this is your final for the class. So once you've completed this, you're done. Okay, thanks for watching. And in the next video, I'm going to go over the rubric for the essay 4 assignment.